Hello, dear student. This is Sunil Srivastava, an assistant professor at BBD University, Lucknow. And in today's class, we are going to discuss a very important concept of C sharp, that is constructors. So, what is a constructor? Let's first try to understand what is a constructor. Constructor is a special member function which is having the same name as that of the class. There is one more thing that is very important about the constructor is constructors do not have a return type, not even void. That means constructor is what? Constructor is a special member function which is having the same name as that of the class, and a constructor do not have a return type, not even void. Plus, there is the most important thing about the constructor, why they are used actually, is when a constructor is invoked when the object of its class is created. So, when suppose you are having a class and there is some data inside the class, as always, there is a field inside the class, and you want to initialize the data of the class, you have a number of ways in which you can initialize the data. There is you can make getter and accessor, getter and setter methods inside the class. You can use properties, but suppose you when you use the an accessor setter, getter or setter or getter methods in the class, there is a problem that occurs. Sometimes you want to initialize the data of the class when the object is created. So, if in case of a normal method, you have to call that method explicitly by using the name of the object if it is a non-static method. So whenever when so a method will be called and the data will be initialized when the object is created, but in some circumstances, in some situations, we want the data of the class to be initialized instantly when the object of the class is created. So in that case, we need a constructor, because this constructor need not be called explicitly. It is automatically called when the object of its class is created. So that is the need of the constructor. Now, constructor is a concept that is used in most of the languages, and actually all the languages like C++, Java, C sharp, and all the languages. So here now let's come to the types of constructors. The types of constructors are, there are actually three types of constructors. That is a non-parameterized constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. So in a non-parameterized constructor, there is no need to pass the parameters. So these type of constructors are used to initialize the variables with the data with zero values. And then there is the um, parameterized constructor. A parameterized constructor asks for the values when the object is created. So this type of constructor is used to initialize the data of the class with some values. Then the third type of constructor that we use is the copy constructor. Suppose there is a class ABC having an object of obj1, and there is one more object of the same class obj2. Now obj1 has been initialized using the parameterized constructor, and you want the obj2, that is the second object of the class, to have the same values as that of obj1. So what you can simply do is to copy. You can copy the values of object one into object two. But for the copying these values to from object one to object two, you have to use a constructor that is called the copy constructor. So the copy constructor initializes the data of one object to another, or you can say that copy constructor is used to copy the values of one object into another. To use the copy constructor, what simply you have to do, you simply have to use the constructor and by passing an object inside that. So there will be two objects in this at the time of calling this calling of this constructor, or you can say the making of the object. That is one the constructor which is calling this constructor with the object which is calling this constructor, and an object which is being passed to this constructor. So the constructor which is being passed to this the object which is being passed to this constructor, and the values of which will be copied to the object which is to which it is being stored. So as you can see that there are two types of constructors, there are three types of constructors, but there is one more type of constructor which you can see in a number of books being mentioned, which is called the default constructor. Actually, the default constructor is not a type of constructor. The default constructor is that is automatically supplied by the system when you create a class. Whether you create a constructor explicitly inside the class or not, a default constructor will be supplied by the system to initialize the data of the class. So constructors can be static and can be non-static, that you will see in later classes. So let's take a review of whatever we have learned in this class. So the what is a constructor? Constructor is a special member function. It is a special in case because its name is same as that of the class. Constructors do not have a return type, not even void, and constructors are automatically invoked. They need not call explicitly like methods. So that is the need of the constructor. So constructors are automatically invoked when the object of its class is created. And the types of constructors, there are three types of constructors: the non-parameterized constructor, the parameterized constructor, and the copy constructor. There is one more type of constructor that is mentioned in most of the books, that is a default constructor, which is automatically supplied when whether it is there is a constructor uh, explicitly defined in the program by the developer or not. The default constructor is automatically supplied by the system. So I hope you have understood this concept of constructor. Uh, we'll see the detail of the programming part of this in the later videos. Thank you for watching.